Hey, welcome to Built From Scratch, the April 2021 episode. There's a lot to cover, so I'll start with the standard basics. This month's income has been £0. There may be reason to believe that's going to change soon, I'll get to that later, but nothing this month. This month's traffic has been, for the .site 58 sessions, which is an improvement. We are perhaps going in the right direction, albeit the numbers are still so slow you can't really ascribe any kind of trend to it. The .co.uk, just 4 sessions. I've not actually added any content to that for several weeks, so I'm not surprised that hasn't changed. I'm kind of desperately working. Any work I do on Wave, and I'll get to that in a second, has been kind of desperately concerned with the .site site. So far, at some point, I'll get to updating the .co.uk, and we'll see if that changes. Glasses. I'm not wearing the daft glasses anymore, just because I've got so many, ridiculously thousands of things that I should be doing in my time. Even just spending a couple of minutes sorting them out seems like a waste of time at the moment, so no more glasses. Okay, so quick reminder, all the technicalities of the work I've done this month are covered in the Diary of an Entrepreneur pages on the website. Here I'm going to talk in broader terms about what I've been up to, and this month that begins with an acknowledgement that it has been a real struggle of a month. It's not been terribly enjoyable, to be honest. So where I need to start with is on the 8th of April, I believe it was, Google published something in their developer docs, or whatever you call it, called Product Reviews Guidance. And for those of us who pay attention to the affiliate side of SEO, the affiliate niche, it was quite big news. Essentially, it was a page of guidance from Google that tells you, if you are going to do product reviews, this is how we want you to do them. And whilst there are quite a few kind of individual points it makes, it can be quite easily summed up by saying they want high quality reviews which definitely don't just regurgitate other people's content, and if possible have something actually unique and valuable in them. Just the stuff that you would write if you were Google and you want to show good content. So not too surprising, really. That if that guidance had been published apropos of nothing else, then we might have seen it getting shared around affiliate type people, but probably with a bit of a shrug of the shoulders. However, it comes in the wake of the December 2020 algorithm update, which I think has now been broadly accepted, although Google have not said this, I don't think, as being an algorithm designed to demote low quality affiliate type content, or to put it in the terms that it now looks that we're talking about, product review content. It's debatable whether it's demoting that content. It's perhaps more correct to say it's promoting good quality content, and therefore as just a byproduct of that, the less good quality content gets demoted. It amounts to the same thing. So we had that as well, and so that makes it feel like the 8th of April product reviews guidance was in fact a tacit acknowledgement of the fact that the December algorithm update was to do with this stuff. They rolled it out, they've seen how it worked. I guess they've decided to leave it in place because it's been a few months now. In other words, it's worked kind of largely as they hoped it would work, and what they've now done is publish guidance, kind of implicitly acknowledging that that's what they've done, and saying to people, if you've been affected by this, or if you want to start building a site in the future and you don't want to suffer for low quality content, this is how you make it good. And that's all fine, kind of. I mean, personally, I in theory at least, where possible, like to do stuff well rather than just bang out any old rubbish. And from the start of building this site, which, as you know, if you've been watching or listening to any of this, is initially supposed to be based around affiliate content and affiliate commissions, I've been hoping to make good content. But I say hoping rather than definitely doing it, because the fact is, like the vast majority of people when starting off a website, I've got limited resources, very limited. Now I've spent several months doing things of debatable value. And so I kind of had it in the back of my mind that to some extent I might just have to put very average content out there, use a bit of link building and start building things up like that, get a little bit of money coming in and then hopefully improve content over time. Which is a totally standard way of doing things. If you look at any kind of affiliate websites, the vast majority of them are a bit not amazing. It's certainly not kind of unique researched content that they've put together. It tends to just be grasping what other sites have got, rehashing it and putting it back out there. Sorry, I'm going on about this a bit too much. What I'm actually trying to say, that, so I accepted that I was going to have to do a bit of that, and in fact, by using the content agency that I've been talking about for a few weeks now, I was definitely taking a big step in that direction, because even before I got any content back from them, I knew it wasn't going to be incredible stuff, just from how much they're charging. So what this all amounts to is, I'm now in a situation where it looks like Google have definitely decided and put things in place to make it more difficult for this kind of average quality content to actually achieve anything. But I've largely kind of run out of the money that I would have needed to do something significantly better than that. So that has meant I've spent this month in a bit of a panic about exactly what to do and how to do it. And I've reacted to that in a couple of ways. Firstly, I've applied to a job. 2 jobs actually, sorry. One of which was with Empire Flippers. And that was, I think the title of that was, I forget now. It was the one I was less interested in, and I have to say I've not heard back from them. And I think I would have by now if I was going to. I did actually, as part of the application process for those guys, you have to make a video. My video was a little bit too long, according to their brief. And I kind of acknowledged that in the video and thought they might be okay with it, but if they've decided to be strict with things, then that application would have gone straight in the bin on that basis. Or, of course, it might just be that they didn't like the look of me. The other job, however, was for a company called Investors Club, or rather a website called Investors Club, owned by a company called Sharp Capital, and that was to be an SEO analyst for Investors Club, which is essentially a marketplace for buying and selling of online businesses, specifically content businesses. And I actually did an interview for that job and got offered the job on a kind of tester basis at least, and then took a weekend to have a think about it and decided I actually didn't want to say yes, so I didn't. I said no, and possibly already regretting that, because it probably would have been a decent job, but this is the tricky situation I'm in at the moment. Is I've now invested a lot of time into setting up Wave and starting to get some content out there, and I'm really into the idea of continuing with it. Well, in fact, there's no question I am going to continue with it. Even if I end up having to work full time, it's still going to sit there and I'm still going to put whatever resources I can into it, and over time it should therefore grow. But what I mean is I'm still into the idea of trying to really go at it and actually, make it my job. So I turned that job offer down. But that meant I was still in a position where I was kind of like, I need to do something here. So I also spent quite a bit of time this month putting together my freelancing platform of a website, which is at iterate.website, if you wanted to look for any reason. And at various times this month I've been kind of excited about that, because there are obviously good sides to the concept of being a freelancer, getting to choose to some degree which companies you work with, trying to find some that you can partner with and do some good, exciting, interesting work and hopefully earn some decent money too. But I've had issues there too, like the main thing I kind of know about digital marketing is a sort of generalised understanding of how to do the things that you need to do to get a website up and running. Basic content marketing, basic link building, basic sort of web design and web development, sort of in a WordPressy kind of way. And companies that are at a stage where they could benefit from that kind of level of work, so like broad but superficial, I don't think tend to actually take on people to do SEO, albeit it might be that I have to find that out for definite soon, and maybe I'm wrong, hopefully I am, but I think it actually tends to be larger companies that need stuff doing for them and have the resources and the desire to do it, and I'm not sure that they would really want or benefit from a sort of low level SEO generalist. I think they more need specialists. So one of the things that I've perhaps decided in the last couple of days is that if I am going to go that route and offer my services as a freelancer, I need to perhaps concentrate on being a PPC specialist. PPC because it is something I've done for my own purposes before. I've never actually done it on behalf of a client before, but my own experience means I've got a reasonable bit of knowledge about it. And also because it's arguably more kind of... No, it's not arguably anything. It's definitely a lot more precise than SEO. And I kind of like that precision. I think simply because if you do SEO, even if you do it really well, you don't quite know what the results are going to be. And I'm not in a position to do what I think some agencies do, where they actually guarantee certain KPIs because they've got the resources to ensure they achieve them, and then it's just up to them for their own purposes to try and make sure they do so in an efficient way that allows them to take some profit. I'm not in a position to do that. If I was going to offer SEO, I would just have to say, this is the work I'm going to do for you. You pay me this much, and if we make an agreement, then at the end of it we'll just have to see how it works out in terms of what it achieves. And I don't really love the idea of doing that, to be perfectly honest. So PPC might be the route that I go if I have to. There's a direct tie-in with Wave there, which is that, and in fact to move on to what I have actually been doing with Wave. As a linked in with this whole kind of panic of not sure of what I'm doing, is that I've taken steps towards getting some products for the first time, because whilst there are issues with doing e-commerce, like you have to buy the goods, which costs some money, and you have to deal with the design, the importation, the storage, the shipping, customer issues, all that kind of stuff, and for me actually installing the e-commerce side of the website and or using Amazon. So basically there's a lot of work involved in it. There's one huge benefit, which is that you are doing something that has very simple, straightforward and immediate value. You're buying something for X price, you're offering it for sale at X plus whatever, and you are going to be able to take some money out of that. So I've been onto Alibaba, I've messaged a handful of suitable manufacturers, having done a bit of research. A couple got back to me, but with very unimpressive responses. Only one manufacturer out of the ones that I liked and messaged actually got back to me with a sort of good response. And by good, I just mean helpful, responded to what I said appropriately. And thankfully, it's the one that I actually liked the look of by some distance compared to the others. So whilst I don't like the fact that I've only really got one person I can deal with at the moment, at least I'm loving the fact that it looks like it's the right person. And whilst the one slight issue is that it's taking a long time to actually hash anything out with them, partly because of the asynchronicity of Chinese and UK time zones. I don't know quite how far apart we are in terms of time zones, but it's a lot. I think they could hardly be further away from us. But there's also just the fact that for whatever reason, the communications that we're having are very, very like small step-by-step communications, to the point where I still haven't even been able to get a sample of the projector stand, which is the first product that I'm looking at. But we are now at the point where I think I'm about to pay for it. I've been given a price and we've determined which stand I'm talking about. I'm now just waiting for them to come back to me about with their PayPal details so I can send them some money. Hopefully I'll have a stand in the next sort of, week, I would hope, at this rate. And then, assuming it's any good, I'm going to buy whatever their minimum order quotient is. They don't look to have huge mocks, I assume it's pronounced in general. So I think I might be able to get a consignment of, I think maybe just sort of 50 of those, which is going to be in the region of just a few £100. So definitely worth a go and something I can make a bit of money on, but without it being some huge, horrible investment. So that's one of the things I've been doing, actually, in the times that I haven't just been panicking and running around like a headless chicken. I have taken some forward steps, and that is one of them. And then it links in, like I said, with this thought that I might do some PPC work if I need to earn some money, because obviously I'm going to be doing my own paid ads. Hang on a second. Nearly running out of time on that video, which makes me realise how much I've been rambling on. I'll try and get on with it. Yes, I'll be doing my own paid ads for the selling of these stands. I'm thinking at the moment, everything is very much up in the air at the moment, even compared to the last 9 months. There's every chance that by the time you watch next month's video, I will have changed my mind on this, but at the moment I'm thinking I'm not going to do Amazon for selling these stands. To get into the pros and cons of Amazon that I'm aware of as being someone who hasn't sold on Amazon before but has listened to quite a bit of content about it, I think I won't get into that here. Just very briefly, I don't like the loss of control, basically, if you're on Amazon. I appreciate that it's a huge marketplace and it's very slick, and there are certainly lots of pros to selling on Amazon, but I think to start off with, at least, I literally just want my delivery to come to my garage, my actual non-commercial domestic garage. I'm going to box the stuff up. I'm going to take orders by advertising on Google Shopping, take the orders, pack them myself and send them off. And I know that is like super basic, but I've never done e-commerce directly, for myself before. The closest I've come to it is buying from China to actually use the products in a higher business myself. I've never then gone on to sell them. I just want to start from the start, but I'll be very open-minded about gearing that up very quickly. and certainly using a third-party logistics centre, either potentially Amazon or a different one, is something I'm going to be totally into doing sooner rather than later if this works at all. Yes, so I'm going to be doing my own PPC, and that's going to be very useful because PPC for e-commerce is like obviously a massive part of PPC. It's essentially either that or lead generation. I would say they're the two things that you're going to be using PPC for. Plus also just getting your brand in front of people, but I think that's something for bigger companies to care about, really. So I'm quite comfortable with using PPC for lead gen already. If I gain experience of doing it for e-commerce by doing it for myself, that will put me in a position where if I run out of money and have to do some work for someone else, I'll be able to do that quite with a degree of knowledge and a bit of confidence. So that all kind of wraps up nicely. Obviously, you know, I'm talking quite a lot about the potential need for me to go and get a job, earn some money. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. I'm going to really try over these next few weeks to do, if we forget about products for a second, spend all the rest of my time just doing content. Quality content that I'm going to create, and then adding more content from the agency to the site. I'm not actually too keen on using the agency content anymore, for now at least, but I've so far only used half my credits with them, and I don't really want to ask for the money back. I'd rather ask for content, so I have briefed another 20 articles from them. So I'm going to be sticking all that content on the site, and then I'm going to try and hopefully I'll have the time to get stuck into a little bit of basic link building. So I am going to carry on working on Wave in those regards. I'm really going to try now for several weeks at least to put aside any thoughts of working for cash. And then, you know, hopefully I'll get these products through and potentially start earning a little bit of money soon from them. And I just need to remind myself that, you know, I do only need a small amount of money to be able to carry on working on Wave indefinitely. If I could get to the point where I was just able to take out £1,500 a month, that would be enough for now. That would be absolutely fine. I could then just carry on working on this for months and just, you know, slowly grow it and turn it into a bigger thing. So that's all I'm aiming for. I'm aware that this whole video so far has been a lot of jibber jabber. Sorry about that. It feels almost like I'm downloading my brain into the camera at the moment rather than actually trying to provide anything that is nicely consumable content. But hey, if you're watching this or listening to this, then I can only assume that you're doing so because you like the concept of a person sitting here struggling with the very, very early stages of trying to create an online business, and the very fact that I'm sitting here panicking and jibber-jabbering and talking about all these different things is kind of what you're here for, which is fine. You know, I hope you either are entertained and laughing at me, or learning from my peculiarities and mistakes, and potentially starting your own online business and doing it in a rather more effective way than I am. So, is there anything else to say? Probably not really. I think I have covered the things that were worth talking about. So I hope the next one of these is a bit more coherent and just talking about 2 or 3 things I've done for Wave. There is one massive problem coming up soon, which is that I'm making this video on the 11th of May, and on the 15th of May, 4 days away, me and my wife are due the delivery of our 3rd child. So that may happen round about then. It means we're definitely going to have it by, what will it be, by the 29th of May, at the very, very latest. We are definitely going to have that baby in the house. So that is going to get in the way of things for a while. But whatever, we'll see how that goes. I've already spoken to my wife about that, the impact on work. We're kind of aiming to have a 2-week period, which is kind of standard for paternity leave in the UK, where the assumption is I'm not going to be working. But as she has already pointed out, without me having to badger her about it, the older 2 kids will just be going to nursery as is standard for 3 days a week, and then their grandma looks after them for another day. So on those 4 days, if she's kind of recovering okay, she'll only have the baby to look after, and she might actually be okay with me going off to do some work, but we'll have to see. Like I said, the assumption is I'm not going to work, and we'll just see how it goes. But even if that's the case, I'm going to have a few things to tell you next time, and then it might be the June update is the next time I've actually stuck some serious hours in. That one will be interesting, because if I haven't made any money from Wave by the end of June, at that point we are probably very, very close to have run out of spare cash. Okay, that's going to be it. I look forward to seeing you next time, and I look forward to cracking on with this work. I do enjoy it, and because these last couple of months I have actually finally started working on the stuff on Wave that actually grows a website, albeit interspersed with all kinds of mad work on other things too. I have actually enjoyed that. I love the fact that traffic is perhaps starting to exist, just at the very low end of the spectrum, and I really want to crack on. Okay, see you later.